Adi Tala is the most commonly used tala in Carnatic music. So a tala basically represents a rhythmic cycle, and Adi Tala is one of the most basic talas. Again, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 level, Adi Tala is grade 1. So the structure of it, if you see in the notes, it will be very complicated to by heart it. So what I would suggest is that Adi Tala, visually we have to imagine it and we have to write down. So Adi Tala is one lagu. A lagu will be one beat and 3 finger counts. That is one lagu. And that in total, the lagu forms 4 beats or aksharas. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That is one lagu. And after that, there are 2 dhrutams. Dhrutam is one clap and a wave, or you just flip the hand. So that is a dhrutam. So there are 2 of them in Adi Tala. So one lagu, which is one beat, 3 finger counts, one dhrutam, another dhrutam. That is Adi Tala. So if you remember it in that way, it is easier for you to write it down. Because if you by heart it from the notes also, it'll not be very easy to keep it in your brain. So like this you can remember. So it consists of 8 beats in total, and one more information is that it follows the Chatrusha Jati Triputa Talam. So Triputa Talam is another type of tala. That is something you'll learn a bit later. But Chatrusha means 4. So you have to remember that Chatrusha Jati Triputa Tala is Adi Tala. And the importance of Adi Tala is that it's mainly used for beginner lessons. It is the first type of tala that we use. Like for Sarli Varse or Janta Varse. This tala is used very much. One more thing I haven't mentioned is that Maya Malava Gaula is the 15th Melakarta. So Melakarta is something that we'll be learning a bit later. But just for now, remember that it is 15th Melakarta. Is just a basic introduction to Carnatic music. It is one of the 2 main subgenres of Indian classical music. There are 2, but Carnatic music is one of them. And it is primarily practiced in South India. It is known for its rich melodies, rich melodic and rhythmic structure, and it is deeply rooted in devotional themes, mainly about God and praying to Him. And yeah, that is what it is mainly about. And the key features of it is that, again, it is originated from the ancient Hindu traditions and scriptures like the Vedas. It is strongly based on the concept of raga and tala. Raga means melody and tala means rhythm, which we'll discuss about later. I mean, we'll come to that. And oral tradition plays a vital role in transmitting knowledge from guru to student. Now, if we did not have gurus who did not learn Carnatic music, then no one here would know Carnatic music at all. So oral tradition plays a very vital role. So that is about the basic introduction. That's the first topic. Now the second topic is about Shruti and Laya. Now they both are the 2 foundation, like the fundamental pillars of Carnatic music. Without that, there is no form of music, in my opinion. But yeah. So Shruti refers to the pitch or the tonal frequency. It is the smallest gradation of sound that the human ear can detect and is the base for all musical notes. So Shruti is basically how low or how high a sound is. So for example, when I sing sa or when I sing sa, there is a difference, right? So Shruti is what determines that. Shruti is what tells which one's higher or lower. And in that way, it is a base for all musical notes. So that's about Shruti. And Laya refers to rhythm or tempo. So it governs the timing and the spacing of notes and syllables in a composition. So suppose if I put a rhythm like, is there any pattern? Is there any rhythm? No, right? It's very random. So if I put a simple beat like this, there is Laya. Laya is what determines the timing and the spacing of the notes or the syllables in the composition. So it is a rhythm. So here are some examples. The first one is for Shruti. A singer must maintain the correct Shruti throughout the performance to ensure tonal accuracy. So again, if you must be hearing or you must be having something called a Shruti box. So a Shruti box is actually the base in which we are singing in. Because without that Shruti box, we won't be knowing what we are singing. So that is a tool which ensures the correct Shruti. So in a performance, it is important to maintain Shruti to ensure tonal accuracy. The second example is about Laya, and Laya is maintained using the Tala system, similar to what I've just said, such as Adi Tala, again, the basic Tala. So it is maintained, Laya is maintained using a Tala system to keep rhythm consistent. And Adi Tala is an example. Now the next topic that we'll be going to is the introduction to Tala system, where we'll be discussing about the most basic Tala, Adi Tala, in detail. Again, it's similar to what we've discussed in Subjunior, but some more pointers are there. It is one of the most commonly used talas in Carnatic music, and it consists of 8 beats in one cycle, or beats or aksharas, is the same thing. And as I've said earlier, Adi Tala's proper name is Chatrusha Jati Triputa Tala. Everyone knows it as Adi Tala, but according to the Tala system and the naming of it, it's named like that. So Adi Tala in total has 8 beats, and the hand gestures or the angas are Lagu and Dhrutam, where there is one Lagu, where again a beat, 3 finger counts, which has 4 beats, and Dhrutam, 2 Dhrutams, where it's a beat and a wave, where one Dhrutam is 2 beats. So 2 plus 2, 4 beats, like that. One Lagu, 2 Dhrutams make up 8 beats. Now, let's talk about the usage of Adi Tala. So Adi Tala, as we've observed earlier, it's used in a lot of basic exercises such as Sarli Swaras, Janta Swaras, Dhatu Swaras, etc. So there are exercises which are mainly based on Adi Tala. And it also helps students internalize rhythm and maintain tempo. Because of these exercises, we get a very, very good grip of the Tala. So this is why, and also it's the most basic form, so it's very easy to understand as well. So that's why we learn Adi Tala as a beginner. So the simple definitions, there are 3, which are Swara, Raga, and Tala. So Swara is a musical note. How Shruti is the base, Swara is a part of it. It's a musical note. So like that, there are 7 Swaras, and they are called as Sapta Swaras. There are 7 basic Swaras, which are Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, and Ni. And these are called Sapta Swaras, 7 basic swaras. The next one, the second one, is about Raga. Raga, it contains a specific set of swaras. Specific because earlier I mentioned about variations being denoted by numbers, right? So those numbers determine what type of swaras are there in a set. And that set is called a raga. And it's very specific, and it has rules as well. So there can be very, very simple ragas like Maya Malava Gaula, or there can be other very complex ragas. So, and every raga is very, very unique in its own way. Now the last one, we'll go to, the last one is about Tala. Again, it is a rhythmic cycle that organizes beats. It provides the time structure for music. So, as discussed earlier, Shruti and Laya are the main pillars. Let's start with Dhatu Swaras. So, Dhatu Swaras is not like your typical kind of exercise like Sarli Varsai or Janta Varsai. It's more of like jumping. It's like Swaras jumping from, instead of like a typical pattern like Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, Ni, Sa, instead of that, Sa, Ga, Ri, Ma, Ga, Pa, Ma, Da, Pa, Ni, Da, Sa, it's jumping. So, that type of exercise is called as Dhatu Swaras. And they develop the agility and the control in your voice to sing more complicated compositions. So you can make Dhatu Swaras in different ragas, in different patterns, like that. So this is about Dhatu Swaras. Now about Alankaras. Alankaras are the type of exercises which are set to specific talas. Now, alankaras are mainly focused on the talas. There are 7 talas in which alankaras are made, and alankaras, they are mainly their main purpose is to help you in mastering swara placement and rhythm. So it explores the different types of rhythms and the talas, and the it's very very like different, each one of them. So there are 7 talas: dhruva tala, matya tala, rupaka, jampa or jampe, triputa, atta, and eka. So these are the 7 talas in which they're focused on, alankaras. And an example can be, again, Chatrasha Jati Dhruvatala in Mayamala Gauda. Now, in the way you've learned alankaras, they're set to Maya Malava Gauda, but you can change and you can put them in different ragas. And yeah, that's all about ragas, sorry, alankaras. Now we'll go to Nottu Swaras. So Nottu Swaras, they're very, very simple compositions. They're not composed in a Carnatic point of view. They're composed in a very Western melodic point of view. So these Nottu Swaras, they were introduced by Muthuswami Dikshitar for beginner training. So they use plain notes without gamakas. So an example can be Shyamale Meenakshi in Shankarabharnam. So it's very plain and it is composed in a Western melodic point of view. And this was introduced by Muthuswami Dikshitar for beginner training. Now, let's talk about the last type of compositions in this syllabus, folk songs. So folk songs, they reflect the culture and the social life of people. And they're simple, but they're very catchy. So folk songs, they're not composed in a very Carnatic point of view, in a very classical point of view, but they are composed in a like if you've observed in rural areas, many villagers, they have the habit of listening to or singing folk songs. So these songs are composed in their point of view. So they are simple and catchy. Now we'll move on to the types of ragas. So there are mainly 2 types of ragas, Janaka ragas and Janya ragas. So Janaka ragas are also called Melakarta ragas. As we've seen earlier, 15 Melakarta. It is a parent raga. So there are 72 such ragas or Melakartas, each with all 7 swaras. A raga which has 7 swaras, we call them Sampurna. It's complete, like that. So there are 72 such ragas with 7 swaras in both ascending and descending without any zigzag pattern. Only ascending and descending. So an example can be Maya Madhavagala, Kalyani, Shankarabharnam. When you observe their Arohanam and Avarohanam or ascending or descending order, it's only Sarigama Padanisa Sanidapa Magarisa. So this is about Janaka Raga, where they're also called as Melakarta. And in their ascending and descending, they have a proper order of 7 swaras. And there are 72 such Melakartas. And examples can be Maya Madhava Gaula, Shankarabharnam, Kalyani, etc. So now let's talk about Janya ragas. If Janaka ragas are the parent ragas, the Janya ragas are like the children. They're derived from the Melakarta ragas, from the Janaka ragas. So they may have fewer than 7 notes and can have vakra, like a zigzag pattern, like Sagari Gama, like that. Like that. This is derived from Shankarabharnam. It's Begad. It's an example of a zigzag. So this is not it can be Sampurna also, but it cannot be a Janaka ragam because of that vakra. And some examples of ragas fewer than 7 notes can be something like Mohana or Hamsadvani or Hindolam, etc. So Janya ragas are further divided into 2 types. First is Upanga, second is Bhashanga. Upanga is where the ragas from the same, it's a bit complicated, but just for now, just know that they're divided into Upanga and Bhashanga. Okay, so as I've said earlier, examples are Hamsadvani and Mohana. Now let's move on to the types of talas, the Suladi Sapta talas, or simply put, Sapta talas. So there are 7 basic talas in Carnatic music. They are Dhruva, Matya, Rupaka, Jampe, Triputa, Atta, and Eka, as I've told earlier. Um, they are each tala is made up of an anga. An anga, you can call it as a unit as well. So there are three such angas: Lagu, Dhrutam, and Anudhrutam. So these seven talas are mainly comprised of these three angas. We move on to the structure of angas. So angas are the building blocks of talas. Like I've said earlier, that you'll be dealing with only three such angas: Lagu, which is of one beat and finger counts. Now in Adi Tala, if you've observed, there is one beat and three finger counts. Now the Dhrutam comprises of one beat and one wave. This is a Dhrutam. Now, and Anudhrutam, lastly, Anudhrutam is only one beat. You could say it is the most simplest anga out of all of these three. And the one anga which will be dealing with the jati is the lagu because of the finger counts. So, the significance of angas is that they define the rhythmic structure and they help in tala visualization.